Lesson 27, multiples, least common multiple, and equivalent division problems. So I'm going to warn you that kids confuse factors and multiples all the time. So we're going to try to help you know which is which. So multiple kind of sounds like what word? What is it, Luke?
Multiplicative.
It sounds like multiplicative to you. Okay, I need a more simple word. Autumn?
Multiply.
Multiply. Multiply. So a multiple, wait, let me write down equivalent division problems. Okay. A multiple of a number is any number that when you multiply that number by a counting number, that will be the multiple. So a multiple, you find it by multiplying the given number by a counting number. So, for example, if we want to list multiples of 7. So we take the number 7 and we multiply it by 1. That's our first counting number. We multiply it by 2, multiply it by 3. So the multiples of 7 are 7, 14, 21, and so on. So these are the multiples. Okay. Now, just to clarify, since these are multiples, we want to clarify what factors are. So let's say we want to list the factors of 12. So remember, we can do 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Those are the factors of 12. Now if we're asked to list the multiples of 12, those will never end. But they start with 12, 24, 36, 48, and they continue on. So if you multiply it by 5, then by 6. Yeah. So there's multiple ways to find the least common multiple of more than one number. Yes, Sky?
I just wanted to add to say that there's never an end.
Then you wanted to say put dot, dot, dot. What are those 3 dots called? Do you remember? They're ellipses. Okay. The first way is to list multiples of both numbers. Then find the lowest number in each list. I guess that means the lowest number that each list actually has. So the least common multiple of 2 and 3. So we're going to list out multiples. So we have 2 times 1 is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And we leave a space there just in case we're not done. 3, we do 3, 6, 9, 12. And we look at the smallest one that they both have in common. Do you guys see it? What is it, Sky?
It's 6.
It's 6. There you go. So the least common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. So when you see the word multiple, you want to think multiply. There's another way you can find the least common multiple, and that's using prime factorization. So we're going to show an example. Find the least common multiple of 8 and 10. What happens is, when you do prime factorization, you are finding the prime numbers that make up that particular number. So 8 could be 4 and 2, and 4 is 2 and 2, and 10 is 2 and 5. So we list out the prime factorization, and 10 is 2 times 5. Find the one, you have to find groups. So what you look for is the largest group of 2's. So 8 has 3 2's, 10 has 1 2. So which is bigger, 3 or 1? The 3 2's, so 8. So we circle those. Then we need to find the biggest group of 5's. So 8 has 0 5's, 10 has 1 5. So which one's bigger? 1 5. And if they're exactly the same, you only circle one list. Then everything you circled, you multiply together. So we have 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40. So the least common multiple of 8 and 10 is 40. Okay. The least common factor is just the one they have in common. So this would be 2. So factors and multiples are two different numbers. Let's see. Then we have equivalent division problems that we're going to go over. So these are two ways to find the least common multiple. Now we're going to go equivalent division problems. I really like, whoops, you want me to leave that up a little bit longer? I really like this part of the lesson because it teaches you kind of a shortcut way to do problems. And sometimes I forget that I can use it this way to help me divide out my division problems. So let's see, equal division problems. I'll go back to it at the end if that's, yeah. So if we had, this is an example, 2 times 5, and we multiplied by 1 in the form of 10 divided by 10, we're going to get 20 over 50. So 2/5 is equal to 20 over 50. If we have 220 divided by 5, let's say I didn't want to do that division problem. I can do an equivalent division problem. If I multiply both by 2, now I'm dividing by 10, and for me it's easier to divide by 10 than by 5. So if you divide 440 by 10, you get 44. So we haven't changed the value. 220 divided by 5 is going to be equal to 44. If we go to the store and we buy 16 snacks for $4 and we want to know how much does each one cost. If we divide both those numbers by 4, we get $1 for 4 snacks, but we want to know how much is it for one snack. So if you go up and you got 4 snacks in your hand and you pay $1, each one cost how much? 25 cents, you're right. So it's 25 cents per snack. Okay, that's the end of the lesson, and we're going to do the practice set